Okay, good evening. I think we'll get started on the regular meeting of the Planning Commission. If we could take a roll call. Are you okay? Is that done, or should we?
Yes.
Okay. Officially, just we'll recognize that Chair Doyle is out tonight, and there will be the four remaining commissioners here to take care of business. So with that, we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first order of business is oral communications. Anyone wishing to speak to the commission may submit a speaker slip. Dina, do we have any speaker slips tonight?
We do. We have 3 speakers this evening. And first up is Bobby Bozine.
Okay, and I'll just to remind the speakers, these are topics that are not on tonight's agenda.
Pardon? Oh, okay. Okay. My name is Bonnie Bobzine. I represent the neighbors of Via Palacio, Via Saracen, Via Tavira, and Via Valina. We were granted permit parking in February of this year. We are vehemently opposed to the vote taken by the Planning Commission on June 1st, approving the revision of the Permit Parking Code 14.41. You reached an erroneous decision because much of the information we presented to the MTSC prior MTSC and City Council was not shared with you prior to your decision to approve the revision of 14.41. Tonight, we wish to bring some of this information to you so you can understand why we adamantly oppose this revision of 14.41. Our current code needs revision, but not the one offered by the engineering department. The source and extent of our problems were not mentioned by the traffic engineer. The apartment complex, the resort, was in existence since 1985, and we had no difficulties for over 35 years. In April 2021, new ownership of the complex brought over occupancy, meaning occupants not on the lease are in the units. 80-plus vehicles flooded onto our 4 streets in April. These additional vehicles brought problems never experienced before. These included parties late at night on our 4 streets, relentless beer bottles, syringes, condoms, people urinating and defecating in front of our homes, young men taunting women, fire hydrants blocked, and garbage cans moved. When we reported incidents to the sheriff, cars were keyed and headlights smashed. The resort refused to work with us and refused to talk to the sheriff and fire department. We met with sheriff officials, including then Captain Lopez and then Lieutenant Lawrence. They said the sheriff's department is not the answer to our problems and encouraged us to appeal to City Council for permit parking. Our experience has shown the sheriff was right. The traffic engineer denied we met 2 requirements. The prior MTSC and City Council disagreed. The pickup trucks with business logos and attached trailers or truck beds filled with landscape material do qualify as commercial vehicles as defined by the DMV. We documented commuter activity. Quality of life was defined in all previous Encinitas resolutions granting permit parking. These resolutions define quality of life to mean noise, traffic hazards, environmental pollution, or devaluation of real property resulting from long-term non-residence parking, and whereas no alternative solution is feasible or practical.
Please find your a stopping point, please.
Okay, and I'll stop right here, and Sandra will take over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to pick up where Bonnie left off. My name's Sandra Anderson. So no alternative solution is feasible or practical. City Council and MTSC believed we were suffering from degradation of quality of life. The City Council and MTSC believed we met all 3 code requirements and exhausted all other remedies for our problems. Because of this, they granted us permit parking. The traffic engineer has now removed quality of life from the code. Additionally, he proposed a 95% threshold of used parking capacity before qualifying for permit parking. This high threshold is not used in any of the 20 cities that we have researched. Such a high threshold is excessive and punitive to homeowners and probably will never be met or will let anybody else qualify for permit parking. The MTCS and City Council overwhelmingly approved our petition for permit parking under the current code. The current code offers your citizens protection that the revised code, approved by this committee, does not. We have worked for over 2 years to be granted permit parking. In that time, we have acquired much knowledge, not only about our city's history with current code and permit parking, but also permit parking of 20 other California cities. And one more point we would like to make is, furthermore, the traffic engineer did not, I repeat, did not follow City Council directives. In the February 22nd, 2023 meeting, the City Council gave suggestions to the engineering department on how to proceed in modifying Municipal Code 14.41. Mayor Krantz instructed city management and her staff to develop a work product that addressed the tension at the interface of multifamily and single dwellings. Under new revisions, this tension will remain as quality of life, because of quality of life issues will remain. The mayor also suggested borrowing from other cities' permit programs to improve ours. None of these directives were taken by the city staff or the traffic engineering department. The traffic engineer presented to you the exact same code that he proposed on February 22nd, 2023 of Municipal Code 14.41, the same code that he presented then and was instructed to make changes. The suggested revised municipal code spells disaster for citizens impacted by new developments. The revisions make life easier for the engineering department, but undermine the public safety and quality of life for your citizens.
Hi there, I'm Wendy Shalou from Via Palacio, and my job tonight is to give you a show and tell story. I am going to show you the pictures which Abe Bandigan neglected to show you when he addressed you at his meeting in June. Thank you. Okay, so the first slide is our 4 streets. Sorry, could you go back to the 4 streets? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you, got it. So we are off of Via Molina, and closest to El Camino is Via Valena, Via Saracen, Via Palacio, and Via Tavira. So this is what our street looks like. Now, you can see that this gentleman was very nice. He parked right up in front of the garbage can. The Edco truck can still not get in. Somebody has to get out of the truck. But most of the time, the cars just block our garbage cans, so Edco doesn't pick up our garbage. And you get home at 6 o'clock, and guess what? You got to put your garbage away for the next week. So what does 95% parking occupancy means? It means that everyone's garbage cans are going to be blocked, or if the occupants of the cars are nice enough, they'll put it in front of your driveway and block your driveway. So we have trash, beer cans, and broken glass that we have to pick up every day. Food containers, trash of all sorts, lots of beer bottle, lots of broken glass. They are using, there were parties every night, so every day somebody had to go out and pick up all the debris from whatever happened. And as they came in, we would hear the cars beeping and people honking to let them know that their friends were coming, and the headlights in our front windows. More trash everywhere, and they were using our green space as their living room, dining room, kitchen, and bathroom. So here you have syringes, and we live in a neighborhood with lots of young families walking around. Cigarettes, vomit, more vomit outside of cars. This is what our community is going to look like if City Council approves what you already sent them. Condoms, more condoms. And this is toilet paper, and this is human excrement. And when we call the sheriff, we're on hold for 20 minutes, and then we tell them someone's urinating or defecating in front of me. And of course, by the time the sheriff comes, they are long gone. And then the next day, we have our cars keyed or headlights smashed. That's what our community is going to look like. You made a huge mistake by approving the new code.
Okay, thank you for coming tonight, and I appreciate your input. We will move on to the next item. 5 on our agenda is to change any changes to the agenda. Are there any changes? Okay, moving on then, we'll go to the consent calendar. The consent calendar are items that are considered to be routine in nature and are voted on as one vote for all items on the consent calendar. Tonight there are 3, it looks like, items on the consent calendar. Do I have any motions? Yes.
I have a quick question on the consent calendar for the minutes. I may have missed a meeting, and I want to make sure I don't approve something on the consent calendar on a meeting that I didn't attend.
Usually we voted, if you weren't at that meeting, your vote is not applying to that,
Okay, thank you.
those minutes.
Just, I had to recuse myself on the Piraeus. I wasn't sure where that was on that. Thank you.
I'll check and note that.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. We'll call the vote. Okay, the vote passes for nothing. Okay, moving on, agenda item 8 tonight, 8A, the Heritage Tree application at Moonlight Beach, case number H3-003531-2019. And we have a staff report from, I don't know who. Is it Sarah? Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Good evening, commissioners and members of the public. My name is Sarah Cadona, Associate Planner with the City of Encinitas. And the item before you is a Heritage Tree nomination for a canary date palm located at Moonlight Beach. So the canary date palm is located at Moonlight State Beach, which the address is 400 West B Street. And the tree, or the city tree number is 2531 PKTREE. So here are some existing conditions and some site photos. The canary date palm is estimated to be about 50 years old and about 60 feet tall. The trunk diameter is about 32 inches, and the canopy is about 24 feet wide. And the tree has been examined to be in good health. So some background, in 2009, the city adopted the Urban Forest Management Program, which is a program to help manage and maintain the city's urban forest. In 2012, the Urban Forest Management Program Administrative Manual was adopted, and Section 9 of the Administrative Manual outlines the process and requirements for heritage tree nominations. In 2017, the City Council adopted the tree ordinance to further protect the city's urban forests, which includes heritage trees. So to talk about the project timeline, an application was submitted October of 2019. And on January of 2020, the UFAC recommended approval of this heritage tree. And the California State Parks recommended approval with conditions in September of 2022. And tonight, the Planning Commission is tasked with approving the nomination of the heritage tree. The Administrative Manual Procedures, Section 9, states that the Planning Commission may designate a tree as a heritage tree based upon at least one of the above 4 findings, and staff review of each finding is demonstrated above and within the staff report. And to summarize, this canary date palm is very large and has become a significant feature on Moonlight Beach that has been seen in many business logos, artwork, and has been a visual icon for the city of Encinitas. The project has been determined to be exempt per CEQA section 15061B3. The determination of the status of the heritage tree is not an environmental impact. And staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve the heritage tree status for the canary date palm based on the findings listed in the draft resolution of approval. And this concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. Are there any questions of clarification for staff? Bob?
Who maintains the tree? The city?
Yes, so it's the City Parks Department maintains this specific tree.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any public speakers on this item?
There are none this evening.
Okay. Then I'll close the public comment section and open it for Planning Commission deliberation. Anyone want to start?
I think it's a very significant tree. The age and location and the history of the time that the postcards and so on have been using that as a demonstration that the beach is a place that is for people to enjoy. I am relieved. I did some inquiry to staff and got some response on it and was relieved to find out it is the only tree being treated with chemicals that could possibly harm pollinators, but they're doing it in such a way that it won't. They trim any blooms prior to it, any treatments, and it is the only tree in our whole city being treated with that type of chemical. I think that it's really good to be careful about these things. And in the environmental report, it did make mention that the blooms need to be cut off. So I'm in favor of supporting this application.
Thank you, Susan. Anyone else?
Yeah, I just wanted to say kudos to Tanner McConnell, who went to school with my children. So I was looking at the date of his application, and he would have been a junior in high school when he submitted this application. He's now 21 years old. So just want to, he's not here, but a congratulations to Tanner, if we approve.
Bob?
The wheels turn slowly in government, but they do turn. So congratulations to him.
Okay. I agree with a lot of Susan's support, and I like the application, or would support the application. So does anybody want to offer a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. No discussion necessary, so I'll call the vote. Okay, looks like that passes 4-0. We have a new heritage tree. All right, moving on. Future agenda items added by the planning commissioners. Planning commissioners, do you have anything you want to add to future agendas?
Not at this time.
Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to planning commission reports. Any reports? Okay. Secretary reports?
Yes. Welcome back, first of all. So there are 3 items. City Council will receive a request to authorize staff to start the process to develop an AB 2011 SB 6 ordinance in August. No date has been set yet, but hopefully I can report that date next time. And then City Council on August 9th will be considering the safety element. They did consider it in June, but continued it and requested some more information. So that will be heard on August 9th. And then the last thing to report is that the Beacons Beach parking lot was appealed at Coastal Commission.
Thank you, Anna. With that, we have reached the end of our meeting. So with no other business to conduct, I will close the meeting. Thank you.